This is a video on economics for the students of class 12, and our topic for discussion is theory of demand. This is the fourth part of the entire video. Now in the previous video, if you remember, we've discussed about what law of demand is. Now we know that law of demand has an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. That means if the price of a commodity falls, the quantity demanded of that good increases. So this is how we create an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity. But the question arises is what should be the change? When the price of a commodity falls, what number of increased quantity you should purchase so that it creates a inverse relationship. Now from this we understand that there has to be a magnitude or there has to be a proportionate change in the units of quantity demanded to the change in the price of that commodity. So we'll be discussing about this change in this video. So let us continue. So any change in the price of a good changes the quantity or the units that you're going to consume of a particular commodity. Now this has to be proportionate. There has to be a ratio of which the change you are bringing in. Now if there is any increase in the price, so we know that according to law of demand, because there is an increase in the price, so the demand of the good should fall. So what happens is there has to be a magnitude or there has to be a proportionate change in the goods that you are demanding. So this is calculated by elasticity of demand. Now what is elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand actually means what is the change that you are going to bring in your quantity of consumption because of the change in the price. So with increase in price, there will be decrease in your quantity demand. With decrease in price, there will be an increase in the units of consumption of a particular good. So according to my explanation, elasticity of demand means any percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. Now your denominator is percentage change in price because we are changing our units of consumption because of the change in price. So this is your price elasticity of demand. What is the proportionate change that you're going to bring in your consumption because of the change in price? Now Alfred Marshall was the first economist to explain us the relative ratio between the change in price and change in quantity demand. So what we see is Q is the initial price of the good and Q1 is the change that has come in your units of consumption. Similarly, P is the initial price of the good and P1 is the change that has come in the change that has come in the price of the good. So change in the quantity by initial quantity consumed or change divided by change in the price of a particular good by the original price of that particular good. Now this entire formula I've tried to explain with an example. Let us move to the next slide. Now if you see here, price of rice falls from rupees 5 to rupees 4 per kg. So initially the original price of the rice is rupees 5 per kg. Now it has fallen, the price has fallen from rupees 5 to rupees 4. So we see that initially the original price is rupees 5. After the fall, the price is rupees 4. So change is how much? Rupee 1. Okay. Now if you see here again, this leads to an increase in its demand from 10 kg to 20 kg. So there is a decrease in price. So increase in consumption. So consumption has increased from 10 kgs to 20 kg. So your original consumption was 10. Because of the fall in price, you have increased your consumption to 20 kg. So the change is 10 kg. Now according to our formula, we know that percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. Now what we see from the formula is we know that the change is Q1 minus Q0. So 20 minus 10 gives us 10 kg. Similarly, your initial price was 5. So 5 minus 4 gives us 1. Okay, so change in quantity demanded by change in price into price by quantity. This is how we had derived the formula. So we know that change is 10 kg. So 10 kg comes here. Change in price is rupee 1. So divided by 1. Your original price is rupees 5. So this comes in here. And your original quantity that was demanded when the price was 5 is rupees 10 kg. So this comes down here. So when we solve, our elasticity of demand is 5. Now this is how we measure the elasticity of demand. What is the change? That means for every change in price, you are increasing or decreasing your consumption by 5 units, or the percentage change is 5. Now remember that elasticity of demand is negative. Now there is a negative sign. I'm using the word negative because there is inverse relationship between the change in quantity demand and change in the price. Because of this inverse relationship, when we try to inference or when we try to draw a conclusion, we actually remove this negative sign. So that is why I have not used the negative sign. Now there are various degrees of measurement of the price elasticity of demand, which was an extension to this entire sum, which I'll be explaining in my next slide. Thank you.